Hey, it's Cassie, and we're live. And today we're going to talk all things art journal. Okay, now you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me? Thanks. Thanks for letting me know. Hi, Alicia. How are you? Okay, so we're going to start again here. um, a couple of technical difficulties getting started, but here we are. So we're going to talk about all things art journaling today. I have a bunch of supplies on my desk, but I don't really want you to feel overwhelmed. Today's live is really about like breaking it all down, answering questions you have. If you have never art journaled or haven't done it very often, um, sorry, I'm just making sure there was something weird on my screen. Okay. If you haven't done it very often and you're like, oh, I'm not sure, what am I supposed to do with this? What do I, whatever. I'm here to answer your questions, to help you out. We can even try things live if you're like, hey, how do I do that or whatever. I love doing that. I'm good. How are you? Thanks, Alicia, for being here. And thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, if you're here live, I'd love to hear from you. And if you watch the replay, you could type in hashtag replay and just let me know you're here. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or anything like that. Um, I would love that. So I'm going to switch my camera and just get right to it. Okay. But feel free as we go to ask any questions. And hi, Robin. How are you? Okay. So I do have a lot of stuff on my table, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Okay. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about each thing. I'm going to tell you, like, if you're like, hey, I want to start art journaling, but I don't know what to do, and I'm overwhelmed and there's too many supplies. How do I start? You're in the right place. Okay. I'm going to help you with that today. Okay. So I am just going to quickly kind of tell you what's here, and we're going to actually make a journal page as I'm talking about the different supplies and teaching you like sort of how to use them and different ways to use them. Of course, really with everything, there are limitless ways to use all the things, honestly. So I'm just going to give you kind of an overview today. So the first couple of things I have on my desk here that you can see are stamp sets. And these are just a few of the Sizzix Studio stamp sets that have been released to date. They have, let's see, 8, 16 plus 4. I think they have at least 20 different sets at this point. I could be a little bit off, but at least 20. So there's definitely something for everyone. There's a lot of beautiful sets out there. So, and the Sizzix Studio sets come with, not necessarily the ones I'm about to show you, but every one of the sets like this come with 3 large stencils and 1 stamp set, and they're like $22 or $23 retail, which is a great deal because you're getting, look at the stamp set is bigger than my hand. Okay, so it's a nice big stamp set, and then 3 large stencils for that price, and they all coordinate, and across different ones they coordinate too. And I'm just telling you because they have a lot of choices. I really love them. I've been using them obviously since they were released, and I just find myself reaching for them over and over again because they have so many great designs. So, but you could use any stamps in the world that you have or that you find that are interesting for you. Okay. So there, we're going to play with stamps. We're definitely going to play with stencils. Stencils are probably my favorite tool because it can be literally any pattern that you can imagine, right? Or find out in the market. And you can use them in about 8 gajillion different ways. Okay. So stencils are my absolute favorite tool. Now I have a few different journals here, and I will say I've been art journaling for a while, and I have 2 bookshelves, like rows of bookshelves, rows on a bookshelf, I guess I should say, completely full. They're not, the journals aren't all full, but if they're full, I have that many journals. Okay. And a lot of them have stuff in them. Okay. Because journals come in all different shapes and sizes and styles and papers and all the things. So I'm just going to show you quickly what I have here. And again, ask me questions, but these are just some fun ones that I've been using, and they have different kinds of papers, different sizes, all of that. But find what works for you and just go with it, and make sure it's easy, make sure it's doable, and something that feels like fun and lights you up when you go to do it, because that's what's going to give you the most success. So this first set, there's these 4 journals here that are like different colors. These are from Ugly Books. This is a fun company. They make journal books. The cardstock in it isn't super thick, but I love them because they have different colors. So this, I don't remember, they have names for all of them, and I really can't remember. But like this one has this aqua kind of cover, and then this nice fuchsia pink kind of color inside. So it just gives you different colors of papers to start out with when you're creating. So it's not just always a white piece of paper to start with, or craft or black, it gives you some color. So that's really nice. I played with it with some gouache to see how it would behave. And look at how vibrant that color is against this pink background, and so it's just a fun way to stretch yourself and to try something different. Robin said Sizzix has a few of these sets on sale for $8.10. Whoa, regularly $18.89. Well, oh yeah, they're having a huge sale right now. That's right. Oh, that's exciting. You need to run after this live, run to the Sizzix website and find yourself a set or 2 or 5 if they're that price. They're so great, and they are so versatile. They will last you forever. And I just love them so much. That's a really great price. That's less than half price. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Anyway, these books are really fun. The paper, I wish the paper was a little thicker. I'm not gonna lie, but I still really like them. They're good for sketching. They're good, you're not gonna want to like put a bunch of paste and spray water and like do all that, because it is a little bit thinner paper. But look at how bright and fun this is. Yellow paper with like a green cover. And they have like 20 different colorways or more. I don't even remember. This is like a pale pink. So these are just fun to give you a different surface color to work on. Look at this nice purple here. And they have 2 sizes. So it's Ugly Books. The 2 sizes are this. Okay. So that's the first one. We're not going to necessarily create these today, but I really needed to show them to you because I'm really enjoying them. And if you want to try different colored paper, that's a good way to go. The next one is my favorite, watercolor. Any watercolor book you can find. So this one has a lot of pages. done in it already because I've been working in this one for a long time. Um, but I love watercolor paper. So, but there's still some pages that aren't complete. So I'll just keep going. Like, look, this has a cool background on it, but it's not, it's not complete. I've got some blank pages. So we'll probably create in this one today, maybe, I don't know. But yes, I love watercolor books. They're my favorite paper to create on in an art journal because they take all of the materials, paint, spray, modeling paste, everything, just everything. They work so well. Hi, Carol. Thanks so much for joining. Uh, yes, thank you so much for for that information about Sizzix. So this is another one of my favorite journals. This is mixed media paper from Van Gogh, from Royal Talons, and this is a smaller book. This is 5.5 by 8.5. This is the paper. If you've been hanging out with me for a bit, just even recently, I'll tear sheets out of this bigger book. This is 9 by 12. And we use this paper a lot for everything. It really does work well for lots of different, oh, sorry for shaking there, for lots of different surfaces. Yeah, it works well with paint. It's thick enough. This is watercolor with some wax stuff going on. Yeah, just sort of playing around with different things here. So this is another book I really like. Ooh, look at that's fun, huh? This is my book from last year's Creativation when I was demoing in the booth and just sort of playing around. So whoops, there's some fun stuff in there. So anyway, as far as a journal goes, if you were looking for something just to kind of get started, get a watercolor book, or I would get this. I really, really like this book a lot. It's a good size too. The 5.5 by 8.5 or like around that size is really nice because this could travel with you. It's not too big or too small. It is a nice rectangle, so it gives you just a good surface to build on. So I highly recommend this particular book. Let me move some stuff back out of the way. Excuse me. And then this is the other Royal Talons journal that I use a lot. This book is a sketchbook, but I mean, you can see here, like I use paint and layers, and this is like modeling paste and stamping, you know. This has got a bunch of paint on it and some collaging. Let's see what else is in here. I don't know. Oh, that's stamping with alcohol or acrylic ink. Anyway, oh, there's a fun one. That's watercolor. So if you're gonna excuse me, oh, I forgot my water. If you're gonna watercolor on this paper or use an art spray or anything, you would need to gesso it first because of the kind of paper it is, but it is really good. And look at how much paper you get in here. Some of these are like a little bit, crinkly because I've used them, but this is a big book. It's going to last you a long time. And it comes in, ooh, that's fun. It comes in lots of different colors. Oh, I like that. They do have one also that has a cork cover, and I really want to get my hands on that. But I also like because it has this band here, which is, built in. So as your book gets fuller, it's going to get fatter and fatter because you're putting all of the paint and all the stuff on it. So having this band to keep it closed and sort of manageable is really nice. And also having this clear or this blank cover, you can then paint it and decorate it yourself and make it whatever you want. So this is another one I highly recommend. I have a few of them, and they have this like portrait style. They have this landscape. Here's a blue one, landscape. So this is same paper. This one doesn't have as much stuff in it. But it's just a landscape. And then they even have some that are like little, like, I don't know if, I think they might be like 3 by 3 or something, but they're tiny little square pocket books. They're so adorable. And I'm going to get one next time. They're super cute, and they'd be great for just like urban sketching or just wanting to work on little tiny things. Anyway, let's move on. That's journals. There's so much to talk about. This is such a great topic, but it really today is going to be like just sort of getting people started. The other reason I wanted to do this today, let's work in this book because I really love this book, and I want you to see how good the paper is. But the other reason I wanted to talk about this today is because February 22nd is, let me just switch over because I want to chat with you for a second and see and I wish I could see your beautiful faces. Okay. So February 22nd is the start of the 100-day project. Okay. And so last year was the first year that I made art journaling prompt cards, which we're going to go over these in a minute. Okay. So I have mine from last year and from all the things that I've done. And they're super helpful. And so I'm going to make a new set for 2026. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out. It'll be coming out like mid-February, like the week before everything starts, so people can get their cards if they want them and get themselves ready to go. But this is going to be really fun. And if you're interested and following along with me for the 100-day project, you can do whatever you want. Some people do tags, some people make cards, some people crochet or sew. Like, you can do any sort of crafty thing. There are no rules for the 100-day project, okay? And it's not put on by me, it's put on by someone else. And I will tag them in the posts that I make about, when stuff is getting started. So if you want to go see who like created this and learn more about them, that would be amazing, and support them. But I like to do my own thing, and that's what it's all about. And so other people have sort of decided they like what I'm doing and they want to follow along as well. So I think that's super fun. I love when you can do it together. It creates more momentum and more, excitement and inspiration for each other. So I just think it's really fun. Last year was super fun. I've done it a few times, but last year was the first year I made prompt cards. So if I just get one off here, it's kind of wrinkled up because I create right on the card. So what I will do is every day you'll have a prompt card, and this is backwards right now, but it says stencils is the main category. So I have like every 10 days, I have a different sort of like theme or category, and it will be stencils or acrylic paint or collaging or gouache or watercolor, whatever, right? And then and then under that there'll be a prompt for the day. So this is stencils and numbers. So then it says create a background with another pattern. Use number stencil to add visual texture. So I made a background with the diamond kind of pattern, and then I used my number stencil on top of it and added a little quote. And the point of this is to like get your mind going, get yourself being creative for the day. Even if you spend 5-10 minutes on it, that's great. That's great. It doesn't need to take a long time. It doesn't need to be difficult. Okay. So that's the point of it. And I will post a reel every single day for each of the prompt cards so you can follow along. You can share yours. I'll have a hashtag for you, all that stuff. So anyway, all right, let's get back to what we're doing. I just wanted to talk about that for a second. I'm really excited. I will send a newsletter update for it, an email. So if you're not on my newsletter, you should get on my newsletter so you get updates. I'm going to start posting there again some more. But anyway, this is my my Rolodex. This is a Heidi Swap one. I don't think they sell it anymore. I'm working on making one, but we'll see. But in the meantime, you can find a Rolodex. You can just put them in a box. You store them however you want. But look, we just create something, and then you have this fun deck of cards, really, that you kind of just, okay, what am I going to make today? And you kind of do like a roulette thing, and you say, okay, this is what I'm doing. And then you read the back of it, you do what it says, and it just gives you a place to start. Okay. So that's kind of the point of that. So let's move on from that. Let's keep going. Let's actually make a page. So you're just starting with art journaling, or you haven't done it in a while, or whatever, or you've been doing it, but you're like, I don't know, you're frustrated, whatever. I am going to help you right now today to get started. Let's see. I'm trying to see what I have in here. I think I want to start a fresh page, maybe. I was thinking about starting from a layout or like, ooh, hi, Michelle. How are you? Wonderful. Yay. Um, Look at this background. Isn't this fun? Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so let's just pick a fresh page for today. We'll just do one single page, but I kind of want to talk to you about Like if you were going to get into art journaling, what supplies would you need to have ready? And if you're going to follow along and do some sort of journaling or work on the card prompts with me, either on the back of the card or on a journal page or whatever you're going to do, I want to help you sort of like start thinking about what supplies you might want to gather so that you can um, be more successful. What I like to do is every 10 days, and I don't have the prompt list ready yet, but we'll just say the first 10 days will be acrylic. Okay. So I have acrylic ink, I have acrylic paint, I have acrylic spray, I have acrylic paint markers. These are all acrylic items, right? So so for that first 10 days, I would say, okay, I have acrylic, and then each day is some different prompt. I would sort of start gathering a few days ahead and just like have it on my desk so that when the time comes to sit and make the thing, you have everything ready to go and you don't have to go find stuff and pull it out or whatever. You can just sort of like let yourself be ready so that there's less a barrier to entry, if that makes sense. So like when it's time to sit down to make the thing, if you have to go get all the things and pick what colors and do all that, you're less likely to sit and do it. But if everything's there and it's in front of you and it's ready and waiting, and all you have to do is pick up the color and put it down on the page and start going, then you're going to be more likely to do it. Michelle says, I'm doing very well. Wonderful. Little cold but warm days are on the horizon. Yes. Oh, yeah. I think are you in Wisconsin, if I remember right? So you got lots of snow, I think, too, right? Okay, so let's start making a page and I'll talk through kind of what I think you need if you're just getting started. You need a book, of course. You need, or at least paper at the very least. You need some kind of book. I would recommend either watercolor or a good mixed media paper, like the ones I've shown you already today. And they don't have to cost a lot, okay? So you can definitely do this on a budget. I would recommend having at least stencils and maybe a stamp set or two, okay? Yeah, in Wisconsin on the Minnesota. Oh yeah, so you're getting a lot of snow, right? Yes. Okay, so I would say have a stamp set or two, have some stencils. I love the stencil, but I realized we did just recently use it, didn't we? Maybe I'll use this one instead. That's a fun new one from Mark Montano. I love that bird too. Let's see what we can do with these things. Okay, that's paint. We're good. So Robin said, I have a plastic tote with a handle and gather things in there so I'm ready when I start. Oh, that's such a good idea. Yeah, and maybe you could even just like put the supplies you need in for that week, and then maybe every Sunday or whatever sort of routine you set for yourself, like pick a day a week where you maybe put those supplies back and get fresh ones, or update a couple things, and then you just have it all at the ready when it's time to go. That's such a great idea. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so we're going to start with this. Another thing, well, let me talk about supplies first. I have so many thoughts in my head I want to share, but we're going to talk about supplies. So the first thing I want to say is, so other than the book, the journal, or the paper, and maybe some stamps and stencils, you're going to need a couple of tools. You're going to need a palette knife at some point. Maybe not right away, but it's pretty handy and they are relatively inexpensive. This is my Sizzix multi-tool. So these just pop off. They come off, and then you pop it back on and you turn it, and then it's locked in. And then I have a brayer on this side. A brayer is very handy. We're going to use both of these today so I can show you some fun ways to use it. These are sponge pouncers, right? This is another Sizzix tool, and you can see mine is well loved. Yours would be nice and clean when you get it. But again, these pop off so you can switch and have whatever tool you want. But I like to have this one with dual-ended sponge because I like to do a color and then do another color and go back to that color. And I do families like cool and warm or something like that. You could also use, like makeup sponges or whatever you have on hand is fine. Okay. So I would have some tools. Even if you don't have a scraper, in the beginning and you're just, you're just starting to get stuff together, maybe you get an old credit card, or like when companies send you like credit card offers in the mail, to sign up for their card. And they sometimes will have that fake plastic card in there. Take that out of your mail and use that to scrape stuff onto your page. That works great. I would have some kind of paint. It doesn't matter the brand and it doesn't matter the style. It can be regular heavy body or medium body. It could be acrylic ink, whatever. And that's really all you really need to get started. Maybe a couple of paint markers because they're nice for doodling. Um, but but that's really it. And then depending on the paper, if you get watercolor paper or like this good mixed media paper, you don't necessarily need this, but if you get a thinner or less, a thinner paper or something with like a lower quality, or if you have like an old book that you're upcycling, you would want to have some white gesso as well. Okay, white gesso is pretty important. And I would say if you're getting into your mixed media journey, I would just get some white gesso. Pick a brand that you like. Pick a good, reputable brand. Not all gesso is made the same, I will admit. Amsterdam, this is Royal Talents. This is a great white gesso to have. Liquitex, of course, Golden. Let's see, Ranger, Prima. Those are all good brands. Try to stay away from something that is like a no name, because they generally are not going to be as good of a product. And while I fully encourage you to save money where you can on supplies, definitely, there are some supplies that it's better for you to spend just a tiny bit more and get a better product so you have a better experience than it is to just get something cheap because it's cheap and then it doesn't work that well and then you're disappointed. Do you know what I mean? So this is one of the things. Gesso is one of the things I would say spend just a little bit more and get a quality product. Robin said, sorry, right now there are multi-tools also on sale. Oh, you guys, okay, you have to go to Sizzix after this and stock up on stuff. I'm telling you, these multi-tools are great. I love this because really ultimately it goes down to just a handle. And then it's got a bunch of different tools that come with it. Do I have them here? Let's see. Let's see. I should have most of them near me. Let me see real quick if I have them. I know we're getting off on a tangent, but this is so good. Thanks for sharing. Oh, this is a different tool, but this is one of their multi-tools, but this is the jewelry picker. So it has this little gum, thing for like getting off sticky where you don't want it, or like frisket or something like that. Robin said Michael's gesso is kind of runny and gritty, doesn't cover well. Yeah. Yeah. The Artist Loft or like if Hobby Lobby has their own, if any of those like craft stores have their own brand of something, don't get the gesso. I don't, if you're going to get the acrylic paint or whatever, you're fine with that. That's fine. But just don't get their gesso. Get good gesso. Promise. I promise it's worth it. So anyway, they have jewelry picker. That's really fun. They have a bunch of tools. Let's see what else I have in here. Oh, the other tool, I think each pack comes with 3 tools, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while, so I'm really sorry if I don't remember right. But they have a small palette knife and a big one. And this is really important to have these 2 sizes. So yeah, these are really great to have. But I'm gonna keep that one on there and put these guys back. I think that's all I have right here to show you. But they do have more than those things. But go to the website, check it out. It's good stuff. It's very high quality, going to last you a really long time too. Okay, so let's start making a page. Why don't we? So there's a fun technique to do that's super easy to do that like looks really hard and fun and cool. And it's a really great way to break a blank page and to get started if you're feeling a little bit, intimidated, or if you're just like, looking at this and you're like, I don't even know where to start, right? So this is a really fun thing to do. So we're going to start, you pick the stencil you want to start with. And I would pick something kind of basic, or something that is like a good general background kind of stencil. And this is why I love stencils, because I'm going to do some stuff with paint on this, and it's going to be really fun and fast and easy. And that is a really good point, because you definitely want to get rid of that white page as quickly as you can. So then you're free and you're just like, okay, now what? And you just work layer by layer. So pick a fun pattern, a background, whatever you want, and pick some paint, okay? And get a baby wipe or a paper towel that you get wet with water, okay? Let's just start here. Ask me questions as we go if you want. Absolutely. Let's see. I'm going to start with this, excuse me, turquoise green. This, so all of the paint, the acrylic paint and the acrylic ink I'm using today is from Royal Talons Amsterdam line, okay? And it's very affordable. You can find it everywhere. Jerry's Artarama, Blick, a lot of places carry Amsterdam. Even like your local craft store probably has it. Thank you. That's the hardest part for me, is to break a blank page. I know it's the hardest part for a lot of people, so you're not alone. And I'm going to give you some good tips here today, okay? So the way I like to do it is, especially if I'm just getting started, I pick my favorite colors. So I love turquoise, I love pink, and sometimes I love turquoise and red. And it's just really fun. So I have this one out here. I don't know if we're going to use it. I have no idea what we're going to use. I also really love gold. And the Amsterdam acrylic ink in deep gold is like literally the best gold that's ever been made. Look at how beautiful that is. It's amazing. I have a few, I think I have 3 or 4 of these, because I'm afraid of running out. I would be very sad. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you some fun different ways to put down paint. So I'm not even going to care what's happening here. Okay. I just know that I want a bunch of this turquoise paint on my page. And I'm not even trying to be special or particular. And I don't care if I cover everything, and it's fine. And then I'm going to take this background, and while this paint is still wet and I have my wet cloth, I'm going to pull away some of this paint. And I'm not going everywhere. I'm just going here and there. And look at in less than 5 seconds, we have a fun background already started. And I didn't think about it at all. I picked one color of paint that I liked and a stencil, and that's it, and a baby wipe and some paint. That's it. Okay. So then we let this dry. It's going to just take a minute to dry. And then I'm like, ooh, okay, let me show you. We are going to use the red, because turquoise with red is so pretty. I can't even stand it. It's so pretty. So to reinforce the pattern that's back here, this is pretty subtle, right? I could have wiped away more and got closer to the white, but I really like this like sort of middle ground, almost like a ghosted kind of effect. I'm going to wipe. I usually have, let me get that actually. I'll get a piece of deli paper. So actually I'll bring it on the camera so you can see what it looks like. I just got this online, just Amazon or wherever. And it's got 500 sheets, and I've literally had it forever, and I probably will have it forever more because, it's 500 sheets. It's a lot. They're 12 inches by 10 3/4 inches. And it's just standard weight deli paper like you would use in a deli. And it's kind of like waxy, but it's this nice big sheet. It's really handy. It's super inexpensive. So using it for how I'm using it is fine. And I don't throw it away. I keep it and I use it for other things. Now I let this sit on here a little too long, so it's already drying. But generally, if I'm using a brayer, I'm going to wipe off the excess paint onto some sort of external surface, just to keep that from building up, too quickly. So, but it's fine. Okay, so now this is dry. I put a thin layer down and we took some away. I'm going to now come back with my same stencil. Okay, so if you're worried about like, how do I do a background? How do I break a blank page? What's going on? Like, I don't know how to start, and it never looks right for me. Excuse me. You do what I just did. You put the paint down, you lift some up with a stencil design. You take the same stencil design, and this one has 2 different patterns on it. So I'm going to flip it. So now this pattern will be at the top and this pattern will be at the bottom. But if you're using a stencil that's the same pattern all throughout, that's fine too. It doesn't matter, but use the same stencil for this next step, okay? I promise it'll be good. So now I'm going to use my red. So this is Pyrrole Red, gorgeous red, absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to put some over here on the side. Sorry, I feel like my voice is going away. And I'm going to get my pouncing tool. Oh, this red is amazing. And now I'm going to put this on top and I'm going to pounce in some places and pick up some paint and just add this pattern now as a positive image instead of taking away as a negative. Okay. And I'm going where the turquoise is, like the solid turquoise, and I'm overlapping a little bit with where my pattern was. Okay. So overlapping is fine. Layering is encouraged. You don't have to, you know, not cover up what you did in the previous step. It's okay to cover some stuff up. Okay, this is just part of the process, and it really allows you to be free and to just play. And don't even really worry, okay, about where it's going or what you're doing. Just pick a few spots, all right, and then see what you get. Look at how fun that is. Now we've got this pattern reinforced 2 times, more than 2 times, because we put it here and there and we didn't go over the whole thing. We've got some negative empty space. Okay, not a lot because I like to put it everywhere, but we have a little bit, and we have this pattern reinforced. Now you see in a couple spots where it kind of like went through the stencil and over a little bit. It's because I wasn't being super careful with how much paint I had on here. But if you just have a little bit of paint, that won't happen for you. But still, look at how pretty this is. Ooh, it's so pretty. It's so like contrasty and vibrant and pops. I love it so much. When I'm done with these sponges, don't throw them away. You can reuse them for a while, okay? So what I like to do, if I want to keep, I generally just want to keep working. I don't want to be bothered with cleaning up as I go. That's just the way I work. You work the best way that you work, okay? But what I like to do to preserve this is get my water bottle. Oh, am I there? Okay. And I spritz in it. Uh-oh, what's happening? Okay. And I just load it with water. And sometimes I will like squish it off on a paper towel. Here, I'll get my paper towel. Like try to squish off some of the excess. I will actually, what I normally do is put as much of the paint into another journal page, but I didn't do that this time. I'm sort of just like talking through. But whatever excess is left over, I will just spritz this with water. This will hold the water in it for a while. And so then the paint won't dry and make this sponge hard. Okay. So then when I'm all done playing, I will go clean up. I'll take this sponge. It just Velcro's off. Okay. I'll take this sponge and I'll go to the sink and rinse it. And then I'll put it back in my jar and then I'm good to go for next time. And then they will work for a while. Okay. They're really good sponges. And these are the ones that come with this tool. All right. So pro tip there. Okay. So now we're going to move on. I got a little, is it wet still? Yeah. I'm just going to, ooh, okay. I'm wiping where it's wet. I should really be. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. That looks fun. So there's no rules. And if you're like, I don't really like this blobby thing here, I kind of want to take it away. Look at what I just did. That's fine. I mean, I didn't mind it there, but I wanted to show you what you could do. All right. So now we're going to dry this layer real quick because I had a little bit more paint, but I wanted to, but I want to keep layering. Okay. Just keep layering and layering till you feel like you're done, and just trust your gut. And I have no plan for this page. We're just playing around. I have no idea what's going to happen here, but we'll get there together. Okay. So next, I want to show you what you can do with some sprays. Okay. So let me see. So we've got other stencils here. I do really like these birds. What else? The birds are good. I like these numbers too. Those are pretty fun. And I have little dots. Okay, let's pick one of these, I think. I think I like the birds. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do birds. Okay, and then I'm gonna pick a color. So let's see. I love the silver. I wonder, I might need a dark color because, well, I don't know. Let's see how this sprays first. I really kind of want to use this, but gloss spray doesn't always spray out. So I'm going to do a test. And this is the sterling, and look, it's such a good silver, but I'm going to give it a good shake. I'm just shaking it. I'm off camera, but I'm shaking it really well. Do you guys like to use sprays? Tell me in the comments. If you use sprays or not, and what your favorite is, maybe if you do. I would love to know. And also, if there's any technique or anything you want me to show you, or if you have a question about art journaling or any of the supplies we're using, please tell me. Tell me here. That's what we're here for. And I can talk about it. We can experiment on the page or on another page. We can just play around and let me know what you think, okay? So I got this one's going to take a minute. I haven't used this in a little bit, and I want to make sure it's really well mixed. You hear that ball? That means we're almost there. All right. So if you're wondering about the stencils and stamps I'm using, they are from the Sizzix Studio lines. And there's a bunch out there. There's some from Vic Hollins and Kat Kerr. And then there's a new collection that came out a couple of months ago, I think a little bit before Christmas, from Mark Montano. So there's lots of choices. Okay. As I suspected, it's not spraying, which is a major bummer. So that's okay. We're going to use a different one. We'll use Blueprint Sketch. It'll be a nice dark blue, and we can see how that goes. And so I don't want the birds to be everywhere. Okay, it's hard to see these birds. I'm so sorry, but my stencil's kind of dirty. Here, let's do this way so you can see it better. Oh, Robin said, I love sprays, have lots of Lindy's. Oh yeah, I love Lindy's. Lindy's is here too. Definitely. I do love Lindy's. Actually, this might be a good color. This is Tibetan Poppy Teal. It might blend a little bit more, but let's try it. It's also got a shimmer in it. That's a good idea. Maybe I'm going to try this one instead. Okay. So I don't want the birds everywhere. I'm about to use a spray, and so if I don't mask off an area, it might get some stuff, right? So I'm going to get another paper towel, and let's see, where do we want birds? I kind of just want them here and there. So, and I want them kind of going off this way. So the way I'm choosing this, and what you might start to think about at some point, and maybe not even in this step, is like, am I going to have a focal point? Am I just making a background today? And you don't have to decide this. You can just keep layering and playing and until you're like, I think I'm done. Or if you're trying to make a page and you want to lay out and you want a focal point and all of that, then you maybe just have in the back of your mind, like, I think I might want my focal point to be right here. You don't want it in the middle. You kind of want it, somewhere in one of these corners. That's generally the most interesting. Again, there's no rules, but that's just sort of a guideline. So then if you decide like, oh, I'm going to have my focal point here or here, then you want to start building around it. So you'll have leading lines coming toward it or going away from it. So, but generally you want to work vertical and horizontal. Okay. And so this is a bit more than I wanted to talk about today because composition is like a whole nother topic, but just stuff to keep in mind when you're deciding what you want to do, where you want to put images. All right. So Lindy spray, we're going to use, this one's called Tibetan Poppy Teal. And this is a starburst spray. So it does have some shimmer in it. It is really, really outstanding. So I'm going to start, I just want to put some, actually, let's do it this way. I just want to put some birds kind of over here. And then I might choose another area too. but for now, this is it, okay? So I'm gonna just start spraying. Okay, that's good. I always overdo it, so we're not gonna do that this time. And then we're gonna lift it and see what we get. Pretty good. I'm probably gonna need to outline them, but you can start to see, oh, you can't see them that well, sorry. Here we go. You can start to see them. They're kind of in the background, but they look really nice. And let's do that again. I'm gonna go, actually I'm gonna dry it. If you want them to be more opaque and more in your face, like this red, then you would want to use something, a medium that is opaque, like paint, okay? But sprays in general, unless it's, you know, some of her gloss sprays, if you spray enough, it'll be more opaque than like a Lindy spray. But you just need to know your supplies and know what you're going to get. Sorry, I'm deciding where to go. And go from there. So, all right. I think I'm just going to hold it down. I really want it to be kind of flat-ish. So I'm going to get spray on my hands, but it's okay. It's worth it for a cause, for the cause. I want that one to be good. Okay. The one thing about sprays that I will caution you with a project like this is that they're very liquid, right? So you're not necessarily going to get a super crisp image unless everything is laying down really flat. But it's okay because we're building up layers and we're creating visual interest. Look at that pretty bird right there. It's kind of hard to see because I did tone on tone here. I kind of did that on purpose. But we can outline some of these when we get to the next step and we decide, do I want some birds to be more prominent or do I just want it to be a fun layer in the background? And these are all the things that you get to decide for yourself as you go. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have questions or if I need to show you anything again. Now, I have all of the spray on this stencil and I definitely don't want to waste it. So what I'm going to do first is spritz it so it's really nice and wet. And then I'm going to go upside down just so it's easier. I'm going to go on the next page. I'm going to lay it down here. Look at how pretty those are. These are all going to be kind of going upside down. I don't care. Then I'm going to, oops, this one. Here we go. Then I'm going to lay it down and this other page is still a little bit wet, so I'm trying to be careful, but I want to transfer as much of that ink onto my next page as I can. So look at this. So that looks really cool. And then I still have more, so I'm going to spritz it again and just get as much as I can onto these pages. So now I'm going to put this here. I'm going to get my paper towel, and this is how I start other pages. So if if I were going to sit down and work and I'm like, I don't really want to start with a blank page, I want to start with something that's already got something on it, then I would come to one of these pages that have this beautiful, look at how beautiful that is. This beautiful color and pattern already ready. And then I can just start building from there. Okay. So it really just makes a difference, like what are you feeling that day? You feeling really creative and you want to start from fresh? You got something in your head, or you just really want to use particular colors together? Or are you just like, yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do, but I kind of want to make something. So let me go find a background I started at a different time. And look at how beautiful that is. And all we have to do is let it dry. And then it will be ready for us to create on whenever we want to create on it. So let me dry it real quick because I have to go back and work on that other page. All right. Tell me in the comments while we're drying, what is your favorite medium to use in a journal? Medium is like a spray, acrylic paint, watercolor paint, stamps and ink, modeling paste, gels. What do you like to use in your journal? Or what are you afraid to use? Or what do you like? I want to use it, but I'm really kind of afraid to try it. Tell me. Tell me. Okay. Just getting some of the excess up here. These birds are so pretty. This color is outstanding. And look at, oh, now that it's drying, you can kind of see that. Look at right there, especially. Can you see that shimmer? Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Lindy sprays are incredible. Absolutely incredible. And look at, I have nice dirty hands now. Okay, so now we've got a couple layers down. You could keep going and adding more layers, adding more layers. I do want to start working towards something because we're almost done for today. So I am going to use, let's try this guy right here. Wait, I don't think I want white though. Let's see, let's try pink. No, sorry, I'm deciding. It takes me a minute. I like to change my mind. Okay. Robin says, can you use alcohol ink on top of acrylic paint? Yes, you definitely can. Yes. So alcohol ink really likes non-porous surfaces. So if you just try to put it on this paper, it's just going to soak right in and it's not going to go anywhere. But if you have acrylic paint fully down on your surface, it's creating a little bit of a barrier. So there is a better opportunity for you to be able to use alcohol ink on top of acrylic paint. It depends on how thick it is, and stuff like that, but I would just give it a try. Yeah. Okay, good question. All right, so I have a Sharpie creative marker, and I'm going to outline a couple birds and see how I feel about it. Okay, so, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but look at, now that bird is a little bit more prominent. Michelle says, I like to use acrylic paints and pastes. Ooh, yes, definitely. Pastes are so great. It's another really amazing way to use your stencils, because pastes allow you, with a stencil, allows you to have texture really quickly, right? Really almost immediately. And so there's that nice bird there. And so I'm just picking birds here and there. Some of them didn't have great, let's see, weren't very like outlined or crisp, I mean, from, you know, the spraying, but I can give them more definition when I outline them. There's no rules. Here we go. Let's do this one. There's a couple of birds right here, but I'm just going to pick one because I like the placement of this one. And I'm not even being real particular about how I outline it. I just want it to be sort of here and there. Okay. And then if you notice, like, how do I decide which ones to outline and which ones not to? Well, I'm sort of doing a zigzag. So I'm going up here and across and up and across, and that is leading our eyes along the page. It's a little bit hard to see that yellow, but in person it's a bit brighter. But that's kind of how I'm deciding. And so you can outline the birds. Let's try white. I can outline, what do I want to do? Let's see. I could outline some of these other patterns that we made earlier with the red or the blue even. There's some fun little circle things here, like oval type shapes. And you don't have to do all of them. You know, I'm not doing all of the shapes. I'm just deciding what feels good in the moment. You can do all of them. There's no rules. Again, no rules. You just want to follow your gut and trust yourself and know that whatever you decide is the right answer. There's no wrong answer because it's your journal and you get to do whatever you want. And that's beautiful. Okay, so now I've done some of that. Now I could take my white and maybe like up along the side here where it's solid, maybe I just want to put dots. And I want to fill in this space where there's just this turquoise all the way up. And I just want to put dots everywhere, kind of outline that space and fill it with some pretty dots. And maybe to anchor it, So if I just put those there, that's fine. Here, it's kind of far, sorry. But adding doodles adds more interest, you see. Let's see. Okay. But what I like to do is if I do something in one place, I want to do it in at least one more place, but preferably two. You'd like to work in odd numbers, starting with 3. Uh, it just is more visually interesting. So maybe I'm going to put some over here. And so I'm only putting the dots where there's no pattern and it's just solid, solid turquoise. And this is just, I just decided this in the moment, and I can do it as far as I want, and I can stop when I want. There's more solid turquoise down here, but I don't want to go all the way over there. I just like it right there. Okay, so look at that. Adding more interest, more and more and more and more. Okay, let's see. I'm wondering if I have another yellow that's a tiny bit lighter or brighter. I can't decide. Hold on. Let me try this one. I do like the yellow there, but let me just see what this looks like. It's pretty much the same. We're just going to keep it the way it is. Okay. Do I want to put any more dots anywhere? Maybe. Yeah, maybe I want to put some right here in the middle. What's your biggest struggle when you're art journaling? What do you, yeah, what's your biggest struggle? Let me know. Okay, I'm done with dots, but look at how much more interesting that is now that we have that. Thank you. Okay, so we've got some pretty good layers. We've done a little bit of doodling. We're ready to add a focal point. So let's look at our stamps. Maybe we have a stamp in here that we want to add as a focal point. Okay, we've got some, I don't know if these are quite big enough to be a focal point on their own for what I want. I do have this awesome face. I always use that. I love it so much. I have this weird guy. I could use him. It doesn't seem to fit. I have this hand. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. Let's see if she's too big. She's always the right answer, if you ask me. Let's see her. Look at how pretty she is. She could have birds coming out of her head. Okay. All right. This is going to be the last thing we do. I'm going to show you a fun trick. If you want to stamp and you want to sort of hide what's behind the thing you're stamping a little bit, but still keep everything around it. Okay. So this is a trick that I like to do. And I'm going to show you right now. And we're going to use pink because I haven't used pink yet and that doesn't feel right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is get out my registration tool. Oh, excuse me. Got a gel plate stuck to it. That's normal, right? Okay. Alrighty. Okay. And I need my hinge adapter. Okay. We're getting there. Just give me a second. So this is my registration tool. Mine is nice and messy. Oops, sorry for shaking. We are going to use this. Okay, so I'm going to keep this out. We're not going to use this right now. That is for stencil placement. I do have a sticky grid on here and it's still pretty sticky, but because I'm going to work in a journal, I need my hinge adapter because I need a raised surface. Okay, so the hinge adapter, excuse me, the hinge adapter is super easy. You just take off the lid of your registration tool and put this raised hinge right over the top, line it up, and just press it down. It's super simple. Okay. And then if you have your registration tool, you're going to use it. Make sure when you're putting your stamping lid back on that there's two sides. There is a textured side, an etched side. Can you hear it? Okay, with the grid, and then the other side is smooth. Okay. You want your smooth side to be facing in because that's what's going to stick to your stamp. Okay. So we're just going to set this, seat it right back into position. And then I'm going to put this book, the whole book right down in here. So now I can press flat. Okay. We have this awesome hinge adapter now. I'm going to go out a little bit more. Okay. I see a question. What if you don't have a stamp yet, but a lot of stencils? Yeah, that's great. That's okay. So if you wanted to if let's say you have that beautiful sunflower stencil, that would be that would be such a beautiful focal point, right? Or whatever you want to use as the focal point. You can do what I'm doing, okay? And what I would do if I were you is put the stencil down where you want it to be. So I'm putting my face over here because I want it to live kind of like right here, okay? And instead of stamping like I'm about to do, you would put your stencil down here and you would use a contrasting color, something bright, something different from your background so that it stands out more. And you just fill it in with paint. Okay. And then that would be your focal point. And then from there, you can outline it with markers or whatever, or other paint if that's what you want, or not. But yeah, just it doesn't have to be a stamp. I'm just using a stamp because that's what I've got here right now, but it could definitely be a stencil. Yeah. Robin said, Alicia, you could cut out shapes from magazines. Yes, you totally could. You can cut out shapes from magazines. You could print things from the internet. You could get your collage soup book if you have one of those, or any kind of book or magazine that has images. Yes, very much so. That's a great tip. Thank you for sharing that. So, okay, so you can see I've picked up my stamp now. It's stuck to the lid here. And I'm just going to take it out of the adapt hinge here so I can show you what I'm doing because it's kind of off camera. So I'm going to use Stays On because I need it to be dry quickly, and I want to work over top of it, and so I just need it not to move. If you tried to use something like Catherine Pooler, this is a water-based dye ink, so it's water reactive. So that means that if you stamp with it and then you get it wet, it's going to run, and we don't want that to happen. And I want black, so I'm going to use Stays On in black, and I'm just going to I'm going to ink up this whole thing. Okay, inking it up, going all over. It doesn't matter if we get it all over or not because we're using our hinge adapter and our registration tool. So I just want a general outline where this is going to go because we're going to work on top of this anyway. You're welcome, Alicia. Great questions. Thanks for asking questions. Okay, so now we have a stamped image. All right, and we didn't get it fully there, and it's okay, but it's mostly there. Now I'm going to leave this in place, and I'm going to leave that stamp on there because I want to be able to stamp later and have it be in the exact same spot. Okay, so this is just a really great tip and a fun way to deal with this this issue. I'm going to use a little bit of acrylic paint, and this is quinacridone rose light. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of paint down, and then I'm going to, and I think I want it a little bit lighter than that actually. And I'm about to water it, so why don't I use, if I can find it, yes. I'm going to use some acrylic ink in white. Okay, it's titanium white. Yes, titanium white. I'm giving it a really good shake because it's been a minute since I used it. But even if I used it yesterday, I would still shake it. It just works better that way. Okay, so I want a slightly lighter pink than that. Okay, so that's why I'm going to mix some white in. And I was about to add a little bit of water to this paint. So instead of adding water, I'm just going to add some white acrylic ink and we'll be all set. All right, now I'm going to get a brush. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. Okay, get a brush, and I've got some fresh, clean water. Thank goodness I remembered today. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix some of the pink and some of the white, and I want to make my own color here. And I'm using a paintbrush because I just want to use a different tool just for something different to use. And there's a lot of paint here, so. What's going on? All right. So I'm just going to mix it until I have a color that feels pretty good to me. I highly recommend you mix colors. It really helps you learn paint and how they mix and what colors make what, and it's super helpful. So what I'm going to do next is cover where this face is. And the reason I'm doing is because I love everything that's happening behind here, but I really want her face to stand out. Okay. So, so I'm going to cover this, and I'm using pink. I could use yellow, orange, purple, whatever, white. I don't care. And I don't care if it's exactly only where she is. In fact, if it goes outside of her um sorry, I just got really quiet there, didn't I? If it goes outside of her stamped area, that's even better, because I actually don't mind having it over a little bit. I just want it to be fun and loose and kind of painterly. So I'm going outside the line a little bit on purpose. This is also going to give us a nice flat surface to stamp over again later in a minute. Okay. Okay. And it's very flat, but that's okay, because we're just making a base. This is a really fun, easy way to help bring your focal point forward if you just want to stamp right on the page. Okay. Here we go. So that's nice. I do want a little bit more white. Let's see. There we go. I don't mind if you see the white either. Painting is so fun, even if you're just doing something like this. And again, remember, this is your journal. So if you do something and you're like, oh, that's horrible, what was I thinking? I don't even like that. That's okay. You learned something, you tried something, you played, you experimented. And next time, if you want a different outcome, you'll try something different. And every time you'll just learn a little bit more. Sorry, there's a question. Let's see. Robin says, excuse me, is archival ink similar to StazOn? Really good question. It's similar, but it's not the same. So StazOn really loves to be on non-porous surfaces. It can go on anything, but it really likes non-porous surfaces because it sticks to everything. It will stick to glass, wood, metal, paper, plastic, whatever. Okay, it's a solvent ink. Now, I do have some archival here. It is a little bit different. It's an archival ink, and it is let's see if it says on here. I don't think it's not a solvent ink, but let's see. It says archival inks can be used with water-based dye inks, acrylic paint, and watercolors, ideal for stamping over alcohol inks. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of a hybrid. Re-ink with, yeah, okay. I was just reading the back to see if it gave us more information, but it's permanent. It is permanent, and it's waterproof. So, but like archival ink, I have a little bit harder time with on non-porous surfaces. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, depends on what it is, but StazOn always does. So you just sort of have to play around and do a test, and that will help you. But archival is not, I don't believe it's a solvent ink. So it is a little bit different. And I'm sorry, that's not a super great answer, but that's what I got for you right now. Let's see. Alicia says, does YouTube give a certain amount of time to be live? I don't think so. No. Well, let me know. Let me know if you're looking for some specific information. I don't think they do. I think you can just be live for however long you want to be live. But I'm not sure. That's a good question. Well, are you going to go live on YouTube, Alicia? I think you should, definitely. So I'm just drying the paint here. And I do have some birds coming out of her head there, which is kind of fun. And I can kind of see a little bit underneath what's happening. And remember, we did all those layers and it's like, oh, you covered it up, but that's okay because we have everything that's going on around her. These almost look like flowers, like coming off of out of her hair. Isn't that fun? So I'm gonna stamp again with Stays On um, to stamp over this pink now. So now we have this nice pink background. You could even, if you know, like if you remembered where the eyes or where some of, you could do some shading if you wanted to do more of that kind of thing. But I just want to show you like a simple kind of technique. Oh, we're over time too. So sorry about that. Well, I'll wrap it up here in a second. Yeah. Excuse me. What am I saying? Uh, did I do it yet? No. I think my page moved just a little bit. No. What are we doing here? Art journaling. Yes. Okay. No limit on YouTube. Yes. Thank you. Art journaling is, here's what I'm going to say about it. We're wrapping up. I love it so much because for a million reasons. I'm going to give you a couple for today. Number one, if you get a journal today, put the date on it somewhere so you don't forget when you started working in it. And don't ever, well, you do what you want, but try not to cover your whole page. Like if you made a page 6 months ago and you look at it now and you're like, oh my goodness, that is the worst page I've ever made. Don't cover it up. Don't start over. Just leave it. Let it exist. Let it be. Let it serve to show you your progress over time. Okay. And what you have accomplished and worked on and learned about yourself, about art supplies, about all the things. Okay. Okay. We got most of her. We missed a little bit of her eye, but I might just fill that in with a pen really quick. Okay, so that's what I want to say. Start a journal and you'll be amazed, especially if you're working in it pretty regularly. I need a different one. You're going to notice really quickly. Oh, this is like a calligraphy. Is this even going to work? Oh, I didn't know I had that. Oh, this is a good one. All right. Sorry. 1 second. Need a good pen. Is this black? Let's see. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, what was I saying? I love art journaling because it allows you to play, to be free, to not worry about what is it going to look like when it's done? Are people going to like it? Oh, it's not going to be good enough. Oh, I don't know how to draw a face or how to make a background. None of that matters. This is where you figure it out. This is where you play and you just let things be what they are, and it just doesn't matter. You get a new art supply and you're like, "Ooh, I wonder if this will work with something else I use already. Let's get my art journal out and find out." I don't know. This is your place to play. This is your place to be free, to have fun, to explore, to really start to trust your creative gut, your instincts, and to let go. And try to date it, like I said. You really will be amazed at the progress that you can make in a short amount of time, especially if you're working in it regularly, especially if you're going to follow along the 100-day project. You just won't even understand how like amazing and quick you can up level and just become more proficient and in building backgrounds and doing all the things. I'm just saying it's really great. And again, nobody has to see this. Like if I make this page and I'm like, ugh, I do not like this, I close the book. I don't show anybody. Okay. It was just a practice. It was just practice. Let yourself be new at something. Let yourself be the student and just play and have fun. Okay. Sorry. I'm done now. Let's see. Cool. I'm thinking of another platform to go live. Plus, I hear you say our time is almost up. Oh, it makes me sad. Oh, I just try to keep it around an hour so that I'm not keeping you guys too long because you know, I'm sure you have other things to do, and you know, I'm just being respectful of time. But I could be on here for 5 hours if we all wanted to. So that's what I mean by that. But thank you. You're so sweet. Some of us can hang out with you all day. That's really sweet, Alicia. I could hang out with you all day too. I love all of you so much. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of deep gold because I was bragging about it, and I just need you to understand the level of amazingness that exists here. So if you're going to buy anything else today, I am an enabler. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not sorry. Deep gold Amsterdam acrylic ink must be in your toolbox. It just must. Let's see. Robin said, well, that is such a neat trick. Thank you. And I agree with with Alicia. Yeah, thank you guys. Here, I'm going to show you up close because we don't need to stamp it again. But look it. So now we have her, and it stamped the second time a little bit off because my my paper wasn't completely, my paper like shifted back and forth. So that's what happened, but it's fine because that I didn't want it to be perfect anyway. But look at how fun. And now her face is nice and pink, and it doesn't have all the background stuff going on so that you can't even see it, and she gets to be the focal point. We're going to do a little bit more with her for a minute. I'll hang out with you for a few more minutes here and just finish up this page. But if you have any questions about this registration tool or anything at all, actually, please ask. Okay, I'm going to put this back on here because that felt like a good spot for it. And let's put that away so I can do other things. Okay, let's work with this deep gold for a minute. I think I want to maybe, yeah, okay. That yellow was fine, but it wasn't quite right. And I am obsessed. And this gold is amazing. I promise you, if you like gold at all, you must get some acrylic ink deep gold from Royal Talons Amsterdam. I promise you won't be sorry. It's literally the best. Look at how beautiful that is already. It's so shimmery and shiny and amazing. So I did yellow around those and I was like, they're not quite there for me. So what could I do different? And then I changed my mind and I did gold. Like, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. I do want to, I want to splatter it, excuse me. And it's ink, so it's pretty thin, but it's not quite thin enough to get the splatter that I want. The thinner your paint is, the smaller the little splatter pieces that you're going to get. Okay, so that's just a good tip. So it depends on how big or small you want the pieces. I don't want to get splatter on her face, so I'm just going to cover it with a paper towel, and then I'm going to splatter gold on here because it's necessary for life. And I like to turn my paper when I'm splattering so I get different angles and, put some on that red area. That's so pretty. And I'm just kind of going everywhere because I don't even care because I just want gold everywhere. And it makes life a lot better. Okay, let's get some over here. There we go. Amazing, amazing. Lovely. Okay, let's see. What else? What else? Okay, almost there. I do want to outline her. I need to dry that gold just a tiny bit. So let me just do that real fast. Let's see. That stamping tool is 30% off right now on Sizzix. I love mine. Oh my gosh, you guys. Seriously. That's insane. You need to go shopping. Okay, that's pretty good. Whoops. I'm losing stuff over here. Alrighty. I love this. This is fun. It's a little bit crazy, but it's just fun. It's just fun. And I had a really good time. So I consider that a raving success. Okay, let's get my little brush back here. And We use Posca pen all the time and we outline stuff and it's great. It really is truly great. But I'm going to do it a different way just to show you different ways you can do stuff. I'm going to use my titanium white acrylic ink and I am going to use my little, it's like a mini, called a round, I guess it's like a round 2. Just a small detail kind of brush, any kind of brush. I'm going to hold it at the end so it's loose, so it's not like a perfectly straight, line, but I'm going to outline the girl because she's nice and pink and she stands out from the background, but I think she could be even a little bit more out there. So I'm just getting some white paint and I'm not being super careful or particular about what I'm doing. I'm just outlining my girl. And then we're going to go do the swirly thing. We'll just do the swirlies in white. Why not? Beautiful. And I want a little bit of white splatter off the end of that swirly. I don't know. That seems fun. Okay. That looks so good. And then I want a little tiny white catch light in her eye because that looks good. And I think I want even lighter pink. Is she going to have cheeks? Oh, those are a little too white. Let's do a little bit more pink. She's going to have cheeks. Why not? It's my girl. I do what I want. What else? Is that red working or is it all dried up? I think it's all dried up. Too bad. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, she's going to be done. We don't need to do a lot for her. She just gets to be who she is here. Okay, are we done? I think we're done. You could add a quote. I love to add quotes to my pages. It feels good. It's inspirational. But here we go. I'm going to get up nice and close and show you the whole thing. So we just started with a color that we liked and we added a pattern. And then we added that same pattern in another color. And then we added one more pattern in another color. And then we put a focal point on top of it. And that's how easy it gets to be. And we did a little doodling. Like really, it gets to be easy and fun. And when you're done, you can be like, oh, wow, that was so fun. I mixed a color. I played with a few different supplies. I used what I had and didn't worry about what I didn't have. And I had a good time. All right. Let's flip it around. There we go. Hey. All right. So we went a little bit over, but art journaling is so fun. And, you could just sit for hours and hours. So recap really quick. Art journaling 101. You need a book. You need a journal. Either mixed media paper or watercolor paper is my preference. And then I would say, if you're just starting out, get one of those two. Watercolor is my top. Mixed media paper is number 2. Get like a 5x8 journal. It's not too big, not too small. It travels well. It can just be wherever. And if you get a really big page, it can be kind of intimidating. All right. So just start like with a medium kind of page. Get yourself a little bit of paint in any format. It could be the inks, it could be tubes, it could be whatever. Just get some paint. It could be craft paint. It doesn't matter. Okay. Get some paint, maybe some sponges, get a couple stencils, maybe 1 or 2 stamps that you like, stamp sets or whatever. I've got, in my Etsy shop, I have over 300 art journaling prompt cards already. Okay. So there's no reason you can't start now. If you're like, I don't know what to do, go get a pack of prompt cards. All right. They're digital, so you can download them right away and print them off and start using them, or just use them digitally. It doesn't matter. All right. That's all you really need to get started. Okay. And of course, you can just keep adding on and on and on, and then you have like this, right? And then it gets out of control. But that's really all you need to get started. The other thing I just want to remind you about is the 100-day project starts on February 22nd. Okay. I'm going to have another 100-day prompt list. I'll put the list on all the socials so you can just follow along with that. You don't need to have my prompt cards, but if you want them, if you like to have them, you'll be able to get those in my Etsy shop. They will be ready by the second week of February. They'll be in the shop and everything. And basically what happens is you print them and cut them out however you want. And then every day I will read the prompt, or I'll put the prompt in the reel, on camera. And then I'll flip it over and I'll make art that relates to whatever the prompt is on the back. That's what I'm going to do. You can do the same thing, or you can do something totally different. You could take the prompt cards and make a journal page, a whole journal page. You'd fill a couple books over 100 days, but imagine how much progress and how much you would learn about your supplies, about yourself, about what you like, about what you don't like, about what you might want to learn more about in 100 days if you were making journal pages every day. If you don't have a book and you're like, oh, I don't know, but you have like watercolor paper, or maybe you have like a big pad, take some pages out, cut them down into smaller pages, just work on a single sheet and just keep them in a pile. You can make it into a book later on. Just let it be easy. Start with what you have. You don't have to go out and buy more stuff. Just play with what you have. It's fine. Do you do digital painting? Yeah, I work in Procreate and Affinity. Yeah, I do. I don't know if I call it digital painting. I guess I do make digital art. I'm a surface designer as well, so I like make repeating patterns for anything, and yeah, I make digital art. Robin said, I love this page. Thank you for your help and ideas. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out. February 22nd. Yes. So, yeah, there'll be more postings as it gets closer. And the week before it starts, I will post the prompt list. So there'll be a prompt for every day of the 100 days. So if you want to follow along with me, you're more than welcome. I would love that. I will make a hashtag for you too. So if you share it like in the collective, or if you just share it on your own social media, if you can put the hashtag in, and then we can have a place where we can see all of each other's stuff, that would be great. And then I will have the prompt cards for digital download available in the shop. What else? Oh, and then if you didn't know, I use quotes a lot on my journal pages, or even on my prompt cards. Like I often will have a quote or something. Like here, almost every single one has some kind of quote on it, and it's just like those words on a piece of paper. Cut them out, put them with your drawing or whatever you're doing. I do have some art quotes in my shop too. So if you want some art quotes, you're looking for some, I have some out there. I have over 300 journaling prompt cards already from previous years and different things I've done. So and more stuff's coming this year. So this is just the beginning. I'm really excited. I have lots of plans and ideas to help you on your creative journey with art journaling, but really with everything. I've had a focus in art journaling for many years, and I'm going to continue to focus there. But I also love doing everything, and I'm going to start sharing more of everything else that I do off camera. I'm going to start sharing that more because it's just who I am, and I want to share it with everybody because it's fun and it lights me up and it makes me excited, and hopefully it makes you excited too. So anyway, okay, enough talking. I'm going to go eat dinner. I hope you have a lovely night. Excuse me. Thank you, Alicia. Thanks to everyone for coming to hang out with me. I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.